So if you're watching this video, you're probably wondering if you should get this webcam. Well, there's a couple of questions that you need to ask yourself first. Are you going to be using the little gimbal thing? Also, if you're going to be using 4K? If the answer is no to the majority of these questions, you should probably just get this. It's basically a cheaper 1080p version of this camera right here. So if you don't plan on using 4K for your streams or whatever you're trying to record, and you don't think you're going to need this tracking thing right here, you're like, I'm going to put it in one spot and I just really don't think I really need it. Just ask yourself, realistically, are you going to use the tracking? Are you going to be moving around and going around your space and kind of showing off things during your stream? Just kind of ask yourself that. But if you're like, oh, but Complexious, I need the quality, I need the 4K, I need that extra pixel perfect beauty. Well, then maybe you should get this camera. This one does 2 to 4K, so it does 1440p and it does 4K, and it has some of the tracking features that this camera has, but you know, it just doesn't tilt or anything. So you could take the money that you save with getting either one of these cameras that don't have the tracking thing and just get a cheap tripod and just move your camera yourself if you need to kind of show something off on your desk. But if you have the money and if you are like, oh, Complexious, it'd be so cool if I were to be able to set it up on my stream deck and just be able to hit a button and it'll show off my desk, and just hit a button and it will go back to me, and then hit a button and it will start tracking me, and then I can start moving around my room and start dancing and doing my little things that I do on either Twitch or YouTube or wherever you stream, then you should definitely think about going for this, you know? Again, if you don't need the 4K, then maybe you should go for this. This is basically a 1080p version of this. It just doesn't do 4K. It does 1080p, 100 FPS, you know? So you save quite a bit of money and you just get that. And you can do all the tracking and everything. So, you know, before you decide to get this for a reasonable amount of money, before you decide to get this, maybe consider any of these webcams, you know? Now that you've asked yourself these questions, we can take a look at this and look at the software and everything. And the software for this is the same software for everything else. It's just some things will probably have more features than others. So let me know down in the comments below if me talking about all these other cameras helped you decide on if you are going to be getting this one, which is not super expensive, but it's a great kind of like little tilty camera, or you're gonna get one of these other ones, which is miles better than a normal webcam, okay? And definitely a lot more cheaper than a DSLR like I'm using right now. So let me know down in the comments below, and without further ado, let's get into looking at the software for this. So once you have the software open, it's gonna look something like this. You're gonna be able to control the camera, and if you click on this little webcam icon, you'll be able to see what the camera sees. So currently right now, you can see where I am and you can see what's going on. And you can click on the screen to kind of position it. So that's kind of about what my camera is looking like. I have a low lights on right now. I only have the one light. No, I have 2 lights on, and then the little background light to separate me from the background and everything. Now, looking at this camera, it does a relatively good job. Let me know down in the comments what you think. This is probably the worst conditions for it, maybe, because I only have the one light and the one light over there. But you know, let me turn on one more light and see if it clears up a little bit. So lighting for your cameras will make all the difference. So I turned on just one more light. It's kind of facing the wall right now. It's not even on full brightness, but just having that light on kind of changed it a lot. Compared to what it was kind of like very noisy, but I haven't even hit record on this to record anything. Also, looking at the settings, if you go up here in the top right, click on settings, and you can change it from 4K to 1080p. In my opinion, I would probably use the 4K if I'm like recording, you know, showing off some stuff. But if I'm gonna be kind of stationary, chilling the majority of the time, kind of like in the same spot, I would want I think I would want the smoothness, a lot more of the smoothness. So, and our recording bitrate is on high, all that's good. And now we are recording. So now if I take, back up, I move, it's following me. It's bing, bing. It follows, and then if I hold my hand out, it stopped. And then if I do this, wait, it's, oh, and it'll zoom in, it'll zoom out. But I think that looks pretty good. If you click on preset, first preset is kind of like a little zoomed in. This is kind of like a little angle, and then preset 3 is kind of up. But if you want to change these, let's say I'm going to change preset 1, more settings, and let's say I want this to looking at my monitor. So go over, and you can see the monitor, a microphone, my audio, and I want it to look over there. That's what I want to show people when I stream. So you'll click set, you'll click done at the top, and then say, for instance, I am I'm doing my stream. I'm saying, hey, how's it going, guys? You look great. Hold on, let me show you guys this new microphone I got. I click the preset, boom, it turns, it goes straight to this little microphone here. It goes to all this, and then I can be like, hey, this is the microphone that I got. This is pretty cool, and you know, this is what I will use for like voiceovers and things like that. And then you're like, oh, somebody's talking to you in chat and ask you a question in the chat. Boom. Hey, your question has been answered. I'm recording with the microphone on the webcam, so this is what the microphone on the webcam sounds like. And I will turn, oh, noise suppression is already turned on. Auto gain, turn that on. I don't know kind of what the audio sounds like. This webcam isn't a microphone, so if you're looking for a kind of comprehensive audio test, I don't know, but I don't know how it sounds. I think it might sound probably not as good as a normal microphone. If you're gonna be moving around like I am right now, maybe you should just get a wireless microphone. I have a video on this microphone. If you want to check that out, it'll be linked down in the description. But this was like a little review of this camera, and you let me know in the comments what you think, how it looks.